laundry on. But Carl was special. Despite his size, he was gentle, like chin scratches, followed me around like a dog, and loved butting heads with the tractor tires for fun. But underneath that calm was something ancient. Something that would not tolerate disrespect. And Patricia Kendall? She disrespected everything. The trouble started exactly 7 days after I moved in. I was checking the mailbox when I noticed something strange, a note taped to a garden rake and leaning up like a cursed welcome sign, purple ink. Bold, angry handwriting that nearly tore through the paper. It read, "Mr. Harper, it has come to my attention that you are harboring illegal livestock on your property. Section 3.1a of the Pine Ridge Estates Covenant clearly states, ornamental pets only. Your goats and whatever that horned monstrosity is must be removed within 72 hours. Patricia Kendall, HOA President. I read it twice. I actually laughed, crumpled it, tossed it in the burn barrel, and went on with my day, because what Patricia didn't know, or didn't care to learn, was that my deed came with agricultural rights. Fully documented. Signed, sealed, and legally bulletproof. My animals were 100% legal, but Patricia wasn't the kind of woman who accepted no for an answer. She had the personality of a rattlesnake and the power complex of a third-world dictator, and she declared war. Over the next 2 weeks, my life turned into a bizarre sitcom. First came the motion sensors, mounted just outside my fence line, all pointed directly at my pasture like I was running a black market zoo. Then the complaints started rolling in like clockwork. Every other day, a new formal notice would arrive, usually delivered by some poor teenager in a golf cart. The goats bleeding constitutes auditory harassment. Carl's morning stretches are aggressive displays of dominance. My dogs herding the goats was a sign of organized gang activity among livestock. I kid you not, each complaint more ridiculous than the last, and everyone went straight into a file folder I labeled Comedy Gold. Carl, meanwhile, had started his own silent protest, standing atop a small hill every morning and staring directly at Patricia's house for a solid 30 minutes. Just watching. I didn't tell him to do it, but I didn't stop him either. Then came Friday. The day everything changed. I'd been in town for maybe 3 hours, just picking up feed, some supplies, and grabbing a sandwich. When I pulled back into my driveway, I knew something was off. There was a white van parked half on my gravel, half in my pasture, and 2 men, both wearing black polo shirts and lanyards, were inside my locked gate. The heavy one, probably pushing 250, was holding a pool noodle like it was a weapon. The skinny one had what looked like a butterfly net and was trying to corral my goats. I parked slowly. Got out. Calm voice, "Afternoon, gentlemen. Mind telling me what you're doing on my property?" They spun like startled raccoons. The heavy one puffed out his chest and flashed his laminated badge, HOA Security. Level 2 Enforcement. Official business. His badge looked like something a kid made with glitter and a label maker. I raised an eyebrow. That right? And who gave you permission to be inside my locked gate? The skinny one piped up in the most nasal voice I've ever heard, "Patricia Kendall, HOA President. She authorized this. Said these animals are in violation. We're here to remove them. She gave us full authority." The butterfly net trembled in his hands. They thought they were here for a casual goat grab. A quick grab and go. But Carl had been watching the whole time, and Carl was not amused. "Let me know if the tone, pacing, and voice match what you're envisioning, and I'll keep going." Carl didn't move at first. He just stood there, head cocked, watching the man with the pool noodle approach like he was about to offer him a low-budget massage. "Come here, sheep," the guy said, raising his noodle like it was a Jedi saber. "Time to go to a nice farm upstate." Now, anyone who spent more than 10 minutes around livestock would have seen the warning signs. Carl's ears twitched back. His legs shifted. He snorted once, short, sharp, and deadly. I raised my hand. "You might want to step back, big guy." But the man didn't listen. He jabbed Carl with the noodle. "Move, sheep." Carl moved. "All right." 200 pounds of raw horned vengeance launched forward like a missile. He hit the guy square in the shin with a crack that sounded like a Louisville Slugger meeting a watermelon. The scream that came out of that man's mouth wasn't human. It was high-pitched, panicked, and almost musical. He flew backward, limbs flailing, and landed in my wheelbarrow, the one full of fresh compost, chicken manure, rotten vegetables, grass clippings from last fall. The smell was immediate. Biblical. The kind of odor that made your soul recoil. Carl snorted, tossed his head, and looked at the skinny one, who was now frozen, still holding his butterfly net like it was going to save him from the wrath of Mountain Ram. "Why is it smiling at me?" he whispered. "Why is it smiling?" Carl wasn't smiling. Rams don't smile. But he was enjoying himself, and he had one more target. Carl lowered his head again. This time, he didn't go for a straight hit. No, this was something I like to call the pinball special. He dashed toward the skinny guy's knees and popped upward with just enough force to send the man cartwheeling into the air like a rag doll. The guy let out a sound like a goose being stepped on mid-sneeze. He landed directly in my decorative bird bath. A concrete one. Shattered the base and sent a tidal wave of water over the lawn. I'm telling you, slow motion. Arms flailing. His camera still rolling. "Why does it have knees like hammers?" he screamed, writhing in 2 inches of water. "What kind of demon sheep is this?" The goats, who'd been watching like judgmental spectators, gave a collective bleat of approval. And Carl? Carl pranced a little victory lap around the pasture and went back to grazing like it was just another Tuesday. That's when I hit record on my phone. Just to make sure I captured the important details, the HOA badges the trespassing, the goat netting attempt, and 2 men covered in mud, compost, and shame. I called 911 from my porch. "Yes, ma'am. I've got 2 men trespassing on my land. Claimed to be HOA security. Tried to take my livestock. Got chased off by my ram. They're crawling across my lawn now, moaning." A long pause. "Did you say your ram defended your property?" "Yes, ma'am. And quite effectively, I might add." Sheriff Davidson arrived 20 minutes later. He stepped out of his cruiser, took one look at the scene: 2 whimpering men, a proud ram, and a porch-sitting farmer sipping tea, and shook his head. "Mitchell, what in God's name did I walk into?" I showed him the video. He watched. Said nothing until Carl made contact. "That's a ram, you idiot," he muttered at the screen. Turned out the security guards were Patricia's nephew and his roommate. Patricia had paid them $200 each to remove the horned one and take it to her cousin's farm. Even worse? The skinny guy's body cam caught her on speakerphone before they broke in. "Just grab the ram. He's probably tame. If the old man says anything, tell him we'll have him arrested." The sheriff took statements, issued citations, and left them to limp away under EMT supervision. But me? I called my lawyer. Her name's Janet Morrison. Sharp as a tack and meaner than a rattler when she wants to be. She took one look at the video and Patricia's letters and grinned. "This is a lawsuit gift wrapped with a bow," she said. "Criminal conspiracy. Trespassing. Harassment. Let's bury them." We sent cease and desists, filed formal complaints, and scheduled an emergency HOA board meeting. And I rented a TV cart. You'll see why. The Pine Ridge Estates Community Center was packed. Word had spread. People came with popcorn. Literally. Someone brought a crock-pot of chili. Patricia sat at the board table looking like someone had licked her lemon tree. The board president called the meeting to order. "We're here to discuss the recent incident involving Mr. Harper's livestock and alleged misconduct by our HOA president." Patricia immediately stood. "This is outrageous. That man is harboring dangerous animals that threaten our home values." I raised my hand. "May I present some evidence?" I wheeled in the TV cart. The room went dead silent. Played the video. Every snort, every scream, every impact. Then I played the body cam audio. "Patricia, just take the horned one. He's probably tame." People gasped. One guy in the back clapped. Patricia turned beet red. Tried to talk. Got shouted down. "You lied to us. You endangered someone's animals." My lawyer stood. "Mr. Harper has broken no laws. Your HOA president, however, has committed multiple crimes and exposed this board to significant civil liability. And your insurance carrier will not cover criminal activity. 5 minutes later, Patricia was removed as president by unanimous vote. Banned from future HOA leadership, her mailbox, a decorative monstrosity shaped like a gavel, was ceremoniously removed by bolt cutters. Snap. Like her PowerPoint 3 weeks later, she stood in court, twitching in her pantsuit. The judge didn't. By a single excuse, I hereby sentence you to 18 months probation, 200 hours of community service, specifically working with animal welfare organizations, and a $10,000 fine. $10,000? She shrieked. For goats? Gavel slams. Next case. Patricia's reign of terror ended in a courtroom and a compost heap. Carl still does his morning stare from the hill, but these days? He does it with peace in his eyes, and me? I finally have what I paid. 4.40 acres of silence, 2 loyal dogs, 3 stubborn goats, and 1 ram who doesn't take crap from anybody. If there's one thing I learned from this whole mess, it's this: sometimes, peace doesn't come from avoiding conflict. Sometimes it comes from standing your ground, or letting a 200-pound ram do it for you, because people like Patricia Kendall, they count on you backing down. They never expect. Carl, thanks for hanging out, folks. If you enjoyed that story of HOA karma and horned justice, go ahead and tap that like button, and if you've got a Carl in your life, metaphorical or otherwise, drop a comment below and let me know. I read everyone. Don't forget to subscribe for more wild tales of real-life revenge, neighbor drama, and just plain poetic justice. Until next time, keep your fences strong and your goats feisty.